Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Change Starts With Us, Ohio. Today we have Frank P. Wood with us. I'm getting down your name very well tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So what are we discussing today?
Okay, Jim, last week, I know we finished up with Dr. LaJour. That was a lot of content, and that's because that's one of the main complications of my case is what she had done.
Right.
And where she failed. If she had done her job thoroughly, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
So everybody knows, Jim, again, we're talking about a case that came out of Medina County.
Right.
State of Ohio versus Frank P. Wood. That's me. You're wrongfully convicted. Case number 05CR0365. And so the public knows everything we discuss is based on state, court, and public records and verified by affidavit. And all of these documents are published on my website at www.freefrankpwood.com.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Yep, we know where we're at. And every affidavit has gone uncontested by the Medina County prosecutor. So that's why they can't shut me down, because if they try to, and they file an affidavit saying the records are true, I walk. If they say the records are false, I get a due trial, and I still walk.
Right.
So they're in a bind right now. And I wanted to dive into the Medina City Detective Mark Kohler this week, but Jim, I had gone through a couple documents, and I thought that what I have right here available at hand was a little more important.
Right.
And I would like people to know that there's a document on my website called an affidavit of accusation. And right now, I'm going to begin with page 32 of that document. And I want everyone to know that I researched, wrote, edited, and typed that document. My lawyer, attorney Ronald R. Stanley, was so impressed. He had it notarized and filed it with his own name. I know what I'm talking about, and a lot of people are afraid. Now, Exhibit A of that document, people can go and download this, my entire set of transcripts that were altered and left incomplete by the Medina County prosecutor. Their office sent it to the former Attorney General, who sent me a copy. I'm like, okay, so that's the copy we're using. Now, we had discussed and confirmed, Jim, that this poor girl, the alleged rape victim, she was in Putin Bay with Scott Sadowski and not at Frank Wood's house. She wasn't with me. I was 62 miles away in Medina. But she was with her legal guardian dad. And she was the only one in trial that could confirm when the crime took place on the dates in the indictment with him. Now, this is really intense. Reading from the affidavit of accusation. Now, remember, my lawyer signed this, so I'm reading it third party. I'm looking at paragraph 124. This is what it says. Post-sentencing on May 16th, 2006. Now, remember, I was sent to prison in May. Unbeknownst to Wood or myself, an article, which is Exhibit L of that document, and Exhibit 29 of my book, continuing, was published in the Medina County Gazette by local reporter Denise Sullivan. Miss Sullivan. Thanks to Wood's sister and myself, Wood received this article in 2018. There's a footnote there, 51. My lawyer is in possession of the physical article, the original, as to its importance and impact. Ms. Sullivan quotes Attorney Green as saying the following. Now remember, Attorney Green was the lawyer I hired from Cincinnati. He's the one that helped them fraudulently revoke my $200,000 cash bond. He wouldn't tell Attorney Stanley anything, and he blew the case. Listen to this. Green.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Green noted several witnesses Even Attorney Green knew they were in Put-in-Bay. She was with him. Now, as proven, those witnesses were S.L., the girl, Scott, and Danielle. And what is truly disturbing about Attorney Green's statement to the press is that he never clarified to the jury what he actually knew. S.L., the girl, was in Put-in-Bay with Scott on October 1st through 3rd of 2004 when she was sexually assaulted the 2 days before, that's the quote from the girl, her 10th birthday party. He never told the jury, Jim, why. You look at his closing statements, those are transcript page 502 through 522. Nowhere in there does he explain this to the jury. So how did he explain it the day after sentencing to the jury? To the media, the news. I don't get it. He knew what was going on. And if you ask me, that was his guilty conscience speaking. So people knew, Jim. People knew and didn't care. And I would like to move on to the next subject. I'm still on page 32 of that document. This section is captioned Video Interview with S.L. S.L. was interviewed by Medina County Job and Family Services. Unfortunately, Prosecutor Eisenhower refused to show the videos of KS and S.L., both alleged victims, during trial due to coaching. And that word coaching and those videos show up on transcript page 506 and 507. And coaching is specifically mentioned on transcript page 507, line 15. And that is discussed in chapter 11 and chapter 35 of my book, A Blueprint for Wrongful Imprisonment, which can be downloaded from my website. Now, we know that Scott was with this girl on the dates in the indictment. No one investigated those dates. Everyone testified to after those dates. That's odd, except for the girl. So who's right? The people that blew the investigation or the girl that could identify who she was with, where she was, when it happened, and where she was not? She was the only one that could explain that, and she did. I'm here. Yeah. Now, there were other incidents between Scott and S.L., and I discussed this on...
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
In my book, chapter 34, page 310 through 321. The one incident I'm reading about is called the towel incident. I'm going to read this direct. S.L. confessed to Wood in front of Danielle that Scott dropped his towel in her bedroom during the weekend of October 8th through 11th of 2004. Before I go further, Jim, the indictment was for October 1st through 3rd. The only date they investigated against me was October 20th of 2004, and they terminated that case against me. Okay? Let me continue. As only 4 people knew about this, S.L., Scott, Danielle, and Wood, for Prosecutor Eisenhower to read. Now, she asked Scott under oath, did you ever walk around in just a towel? Now, that's transcript page 218, chapter 34 in my book. This was a highly specific question, especially since the allegation went unindicted. S.L. told someone about this during the investigation. It would help to know whom. You see, for this to happen, let me tell you what happened, because this is also in Exhibit 9 of my book, okay? My pretrial history with Danielle. Now, I'm helping the girl with her homework at the kitchen table. She looked at me and said, Frankie, can I help? Can I tell you something? I said, sure. She said, the other night, my dad came in my bedroom, and his towel fell off. He picked it up, held it over his crotch, and did like a curtsy, and goes, oh, excuse me, and ran down the hallway back to his bedroom. Okay? She said it was really funny because his butt cheeks were jiggling. Remember, Scott was about 240 pounds at the time of trial. Just so you know. She was very specific. So the prosecutor knew about this and did nothing. I want to make that clear. Former Assistant Prosecutor Ann Eisenhower did this to me. She let him walk off the stand and out of the courtroom after she knew he was guilty to protect her reputation. There is no forgiveness for this, Jim. There's no mercy. There's no understanding. No, never, never, never. Now, here's the next situation, and I'm on page 33 of the affidavit. Jeans versus underwear. Danielle testified that she allegedly saw Wood coming out of SL's bedroom in his underwear on the morning of, and here it comes, October 20th. That's transcript page 157, line 8. Now, before I continue, yes, again, I took care of the girl at 5:30 in the morning because Danielle told her shut up and go back to bed. This kid was prone to trauma, nightmares, night terrors, and took medication. Danielle laid the parenting responsibility on me just like she did Scott. I was so angry. I got up, got out of bed, and left her there and went and checked on the girl. And I was always fully dressed. Number one, it was October 20th. It was pretty cold in a house built in the 70s with boiler heat. I always slept in socks, sweats, and a t-shirt. And she used to tease me about it. So I watched this woman that I had once made love to lie to a jury under oath to protect herself and that bastard. I want to vomit. Oh my God, I'm okay. Now, let me continue. And to no surprise, Scott testified that during his marriage to Danielle, it was, quote, typically his habit to walk around the house in, and here's the quote, my underwear, my boxers. Transcript page 218. Wait a minute. I lived in sweats and jeans in the house. Scott walks around in his underwear and his boxers. They testified to this, not me. Okay? That alone blows the allegation against me. Now, that is, man, it just fires me up. Anyhow, the next one, and I've been waiting for this, Jim. Remember, this is all between Scott and SL. Computer pornography. During Invest, allegations were made regarding...
You have 1 minute remaining.
Wow, that went fast, Jim. I gotta call you right...
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Okay.
Jim, I'm gonna call you right back.
Okay, sounds good, brother.
Thanks, Jim.
He's been a frequent flyer on our show. As several other people are, we do believe there are innocent people and wrongfully convicted people. At the same time, wrongfully convicted means something happened just not what the conviction was, and totally innocent means they had nothing to do with the crime. So we're here to bring awareness out, and help people get the word out on their cases. So, and that gets to this coming Saturday. We're going to be at Chillicothe from 1 to 3 p.m. for an anti-death penalty protest. From 1 to 3 p.m. this coming Saturday, Chillicothe Correctional Institution. We need as many people as possible to join us that day.
Hello. This call is from
I'm
a
fast,
correctional
aren't I?
facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, Frank.
Hey, Jim.
Okay, you're
Thank
back
you.
on.
Keep right on going, my good man. Computer pornography. During Invest, allegations were made regarding Wood allegedly showing SL pictures on a computer. Such went unindicted while facts point to the computer of Scott Michael Sadowski. Now, so everyone knows, from my book, that's Chapter 10 and Exhibit 19, I expressed this in a letter to the Ohio Innocence Project. dated August 31st, 2015, page 3, paragraph 2 through 3. Now, this is bizarre, Jim, because this is yet another unindicted allegation, an implanted and transplanted memory. Please let me explain. In the transcripts, the girl says she saw pictures on a computer of naked men and women. Okay? And there was Yahoo on the computer screen. First of all, I had Roadrunner. Scott and Danielle Sadowski both had Yahoo email accounts. I want that to be clear. Okay? Now, going forward, the next one, a Facebook transmission. SL posted on Facebook that she was abused by Wood 2 years prior to her moving into his house on an intermittent and part-time basis when she was 8. Wait a minute, Jim. I bet the girl...
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I know. That's annoying. Now, she was living with Scott since 1999. And that's Danielle's testimony from transcript page 106. So this is another implanted, transplanted memory that went unindicted. It went unindicted because it wasn't me. Now, remember how we talked about Danielle moved out on her own and the girl lived with Scott from October of 2004 until trial in May of 2005? We talked about this a couple times. So this topic is called approximately 50 times. Listen to this. By being interviewed by Akron Children's Hospital's nurse practitioner, Donna Abbott, new allegations surfaced that SL was abused approximately 50 times. This is transcript page 280, line 21 through 23. After SL moved back in with Scott on October 20th of 2004 until trial in April-May of 2005. Here, SL confirmed this living arrangement with, and you're going to love this, brother lives at mother's house. I just visit. Scott had full control over the mind and body of this young girl. Full control, full access, and that's what I'm getting to. And the last thing I want to discuss from this section, this document, is called Additional Allegation. I'm on page 34, paragraph 133. SL alleged penile, anal penetration to Akron Children's Hospital. This allegation went unindicted again, as it was another implanted memory. Now, why would she make that allegation unless Scott had actually done something physically in that area, whether he had penetrated or not? You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did they try and get her to say, I did it, and Scott was the one fooling around? Or did they just get her to say it? Because he's the one that had access to her. And that is what is so important about this phone call. I want everyone to know, my good man, that I am switching documents now. I'm turning to my book, A Blueprint for Wrongful Imprisonment. I am on chapter 9, page 47. The title of this chapter is My Lack of Special Knowledge, Motive, and Easy Access Regarding SL. This is a short chapter because it's a quick subject, but it's critical. People need to understand. Okay, I must make special note pertaining to the date and schedule regarding who had SL and when. We knew the girl was with Scott every Friday through Monday. The girl, Danielle, and Scott testified to this. Page 48, she moved in with me around mid-August. That's Exhibit 9 in my book as well. With the schedule in effect. The move-in date was around August 17th of 2004. This can be verified because I bought the children beds with one of my company checks, and all corporate checks are recorded and stored for later retrieval. As revealed in Exhibit 3 of my book, Danielle and the children moved back in with Scott on October 20th of 2004, exactly 9 weeks and 1 day later. Counting days from move-in to move-out, I would have been in SL's presence 3 days per week for approximately 28 intermittent and...
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Remember, Danielle tried to Danielle and Scott tried to coach this girl into singing I Did Something 50 times. But that didn't surface until after she moved back in with Scott. Now, I'm going to jump to the next paragraph, 179. I was working and running my business 12 to 14 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And on weekends, I designed projects and contracts. At that time of the year, the construction season was still going strong, and I was already signing contracts for the winter, commercial, and residential. With both my schedule and Scott's on the table. Now, let's take a look at special knowledge. SL and I got along well, but I did not know her on a deep and personal basis, as did Scott. He was in a long-term position of trust. Now remember, Jim, trust means to allow without fear. She allowed him without fear and had her confidence. She depended on him as a father figure and for stability. When the psychiatrist was questioned, Dr. LaJour, about one of her biggest stressors, it was the divorce and if she was going to be adopted. You follow me? Those
Yes.
were her two big worries. I was like number 7 on the list. Figure that one out. Now, let's take a look at motive. Danielle came to me for affection when we met for a reason. Jim, there's a reason she left the sanctity of the marriage bed. Okay? Yeah, I screwed up. I accepted her advances. Okay? Trust me, it never happened again. Now, and while Danielle and I lived together, we were intimate like every 2 days. Now, if you take a look at Exhibit 34 of my book, turn to page read 3, item 17. Now, this doctor had examined my mind and beliefs. Okay, this is the Attorney General's expert. He's saying there's no way I can commit this crime. You know, so that's kind of important right now. And I just lost a note here, Jim. I apologize. Okay, let me go forward. We're going to use that in just a second. According to Dr. Reed, I was being sexually active regularly. This is his quote. Therefore, he would not have needed to turn to a prepubescent child. Jim and Danielle admitted under oath, we made love in every room of the house, including the deck and the basement. Okay? We were very active. That's just the way it went, you know? Now, if you, to the contrary, in consideration of my claim of actual innocence in my book, which is Exhibit 3, and so everyone knows, that claim has never been challenged by Medina in any court proceeding, ever.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Include the indicted dates of alleged abuse, Exhibit 2. This girl, not only was Scott with SL on those dates, he was not the one who was regularly experiencing sexual gratification with his wife. Okay? He was on his own, and he had a need to fulfill, and he was with her approximately 50 times. Because so far, we've proven by their testimony, hey, he's been with her on every date in the indictment. Every date mentioned. Every single date mentioned. Every allegation, every accusation points to him, his computer, his home in Medina, his residency in Putin Bay. Everything. This is what burns me up. Now, let's talk about easy access. When the children were in my house, Danielle, via her own testimony, was always around. Remember, that's transcript page 120, line 18 through 23. I was never alone with them. You know what I mean? In the house? Never. To the contrary, Scott lived alone and had the children to himself 4 days and 4 nights per week. What more, prior to meeting the the girl in August of 2004. Scott and Danielle received relevant placement of her in 1999, giving him that long-term easy access. Now, please, compare the knowledge of all this. Here you'll see that Scott had sole custody and control of SL's mind and body from October 2004, Jim, like we talked, May, June of 05 trial. That's where the approximately 50 times happened. Supporting my lack of special knowledge, motive, and easy access with the girl. Remember, I only knew her 28 partial and intermittent days while running my company 12 to 14 hours a day. My demanding work schedule kept me on my toes and sometimes on my back asleep. Exhibit 14 of my book is from the hospital. The girl, respectfully, was a temple virgin with an intact hymen and no abnormalities and no signs of trauma. She was never touched internally. Okay? Now, remember, she was in Put in Bay and not at Frank Wood's house. Remember the implanted, transplanted memory of Frankie raped you. Danielle, if you can hear this, thank you so much. And don't forget my regular intimacy with Danielle. Okay? I want everyone to listen to this specifically. Exhibit 34 of my book, page Reed 3, item 14. This is what Dr. Reed testified about me. He said, I am, quote, not slick, cunning, or manipulative. So, far from being a pathological liar or manipulator, it is evident that I had neither the time, motive, or easy access nor mindset to seduce a child approximately 50 times in 28 partial and intermittent days whose mother told her that I had raped her. And that's transcript page 301, line 1 through 8. Jim, I think we've successfully crucified Scott Sadowski.
Right.
That's what I had to get out in the air tonight. He's guilty, and I want everyone to know, because the girl was under 10, the statute of limitations for that charge, so they can prosecute, is 25 years. Okay? So they got 10 more years to work him. They need to get this done. And shortly, I aim to involve either the FBI and or the U.S. Marshals, because something needs to be done. And right now, we have no access to a law library in prison because of COVID lockdown, okay? But I got everything I need. I got a phone, got good people, I got a typewriter.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Definitely going to make something happen, Jim.
Right.
So I'm glad I got that out of the way. That was so important. But as you can see, you know, everybody placed him with her, or the evidence of this or whatever. She was with him on every date of every allegation in question.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Jim, that went fast.
Right.
But I want to tell you thank you.
Sure.
I thank everybody for listening, and I will definitely give you a call in a couple of days, Jim.
Okay, make it after Saturday, brother.
I'll give you a call on Monday.
Sounds great. Thank you so
All
much.
right, Jim.
Okay.
All right, no, thank you, and have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye. Folks, if you'd like to check out our website, please do so at www.changestartswithusohio.org. And you can leave us an email through there, or you could send us an email through
Thank you for using GTL.
changestartswithusohio@gmail.com. Folks, we appreciate you. Have a great night.